Play this as frequently as possible. Then, as it becomes easier for you, play it once a day or as needed.
Broadcasting live from an Airstream somewhere in Tornado Alley, bringing you the people, places, and stories from the Panhandle to the Red River. This is your Only in Oklahoma show.
Welcome to the show. Today we're discussing Greenleaf State Park in Braggs, Oklahoma, and later in the show, Paycom is getting a facelift. I'm Brett.
And I am Harley.
You know, I'm guilty. I've never heard of Greenleaf State Park.
You would be shocked, and I chose it on purpose.
Why?
Because it is rated as one of the best lakes for kayaking in the state.
You're really going to have things that are easy to sell me on, okay? Fudge that's not fudge, a pumpkin cookie that tastes like a pumpkin roll, and Heavenly Barbecue having the best hamburger in the state of Oklahoma.
I think you're going to fall in love with
this is a hard sell.
Greenleaf State Park, I promise you.
Okay.
It's only about an hour southeast of Tulsa. It's one of Oklahoma's original 7 parks.
Really?
Yes, it is. It is very scenic, very family-oriented. 930-acre lake built in 1939 with 14 miles of shoreline.
You know, we did the math on continuous shoreline in the state of Oklahoma. I think they've got to be a part of that. That's a big lake, dude.
It's not small, I'll give you that.
No, not by a long shot.
So as far as activities go, kayaking, the water is often perfectly still. Kayakers love it.
I will say this. If I'm going to kayak on anything, it will be perfectly still, placid waters that aren't going to toss me about the rocks.
I understand that, but I do think if you really want to get past your phobia.
It's not a phobia. A phobia means that there's a chance that I could go, you know, I'm not actually scared of spiders anymore.
A phobia is an irrational fear. And I know that one of the times that we went kayaking, you fell out of your boat in 2 feet of water, and you screamed and flailed around.
Yeah,
like you were drowning.
Listen, have you seen this? Okay,
you were standing up.
You saw the video of the kid that's like freaking out in the water. He's like, ah! And I even thought as a viewer, I'm like, someone do something. He's drowning. And the mom comes up and grabs his hands and like pulls him and stands him up in the water. He's like, that's me. I get it. I'm a child flapping about in the water.
Well, there are a lot of groups that do kayaking events together there at that lake, so you can go
and bond
and learn about it. Or a little bit more your speed.
What?
They have a splash pad.
You son of a bitch.
It's great for kids.
Yeah, and adults.
Or Brett's.
Right.
I mean, it is hot in Oklahoma. And if you're afraid to go into the lake, the splash pad is probably the next best thing.
You guys go ahead. I'm going to just stay here and supervise the kids. Those aren't your kids. Get your ass in the kayak is what would be said, I'm sure.
So the hiking trails there are great. Again, another way to take in the gorgeous natural surroundings. They have an 18-mile hiking trail.
Seriously.
I like hiking.
But 18 miles of it?
18 miles. I'm
good
for 2.
I'm doing like 100 yards.
I'm good for 2, and one of those is coming back.
Yeah, the down is the easier part.
Exactly.
But you know, I was looking at pictures of this place. I feel like every other episode, we need a drinking game called "This Doesn't Look Like Oklahoma," and maybe we need to change our podcast name to "This Doesn't Look Like Oklahoma.com." There are parts of this park that don't look like, and that's the thing. I've never seen it before. Admittedly, I'm from around here. There's no reason for me to have not have seen it. But when I'm looking at it, I'm going, that's here? And I'm not there?
Right.
I mean, it's crazy.
So some of the other activities at the park, they've got a mini golf course, they've got a swim beach, they have a heated fishing dock for fishing in the winter.
That's cool.
They have an amphitheater, they have a nature center. The park naturalist offers astronomy programs, arts and craft programs, storytelling programs, and nature hikes, like guided nature hikes, where they explain the
Really?
Yeah, the history, the wildlife, that sort of stuff.
Well, I can see why they would have astronomy clubs and things like that out there. All that wide, just imagine that sky at night.
Oh, yeah. It's gorgeous. And if you're not that much into nature, but you like hanging out with your friends, and they do like party barge tours,
Yeah.
hay wagon rides, that sort of stuff. So if you're terrified of the water, I'm not pointing fingers.
Oh, well, I know it seemed like I'm holding my cheeks up. I'm not pointing at myself. I consider myself kind of a nature novice. I like to kind of kick around and, flip rocks over and things like that. And it's got a lot of that too. Like you're saying, if you're not into the kayaking, they've got plenty of off the beaten path trails. They've got trails that are designed to show you exactly where to go. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, dealer's choice as far as.
Oh yeah. I think if you're looking for something to do outdoorsy,
This is it.
yeah, I think you got your choice of options. It's just got a fun vibe.
Listen, I used to be big into the fishing. What I think is cool about them is I think you can catch up to like 3 fish a day without a license or a permit.
I think that's only for kids.
Is it only for kids?
I think it's only for kids.
Yeah, it's just for kids, guys.
Yeah, so
Don't get any bright ideas.
yeah, I'm gonna say that a park ranger might come get you for that.
So I have a story about that.
All right.
Me and my stepdad were fishing at Lake Overholser or somewhere. I remember it. And that rule has always applied for kids.
Mm-hmm.
My stepdad, imagine John, fishing dirty at the lake.
Got it.
Here comes the game warden. All of a sudden, here I am, like
Hold.
I'm holding the pole. It's almost like trying to get the seatbelt on before the cop gets to the window
Right.
to try to, so you don't get 2 tickets. Yeah, he handed me the fishing pole.
That's awesome.
So, but I'm not recommending that you do that.
No, 100% follow the rules. As far as places to stay,
Yeah.
they have cabins available. They are awesome. I know that's one of the words that we have banned from listening to the show, we banned from the show. Awesome. But dude, these cabins are really awesome. They were
Yeah.
built in the 30s
Oh, that's
But-
so cool.
by the CCC, the WPA, and German POWs.
That's a lot of acronyms.
Yes, it is. They're constructed using the native stone in the area.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they blend right in with the environment. They're small, 350 square feet, but they have bathroom, kitchens, heat and air, dishes, linens, the whole 9, satellite TV. So being able to stay, I know it's small, it's a small footprint,
Mhm.
but being able to stay in something that is that historic, it's
Yeah.
almost 100-year-old cabins.
You don't see a lot of that. And again, we love our brothers and sisters in Broken Bow and Ho Chi Town and those guys down there in Beaver's Bend, etc. But I'm kind of a history guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Give me, people go with the haunted looking houses. Would you stay in here for $1,000? I'm like, dude, I'll pay you $1,000 to stay there. Give me something that breathes
That has some life to it.
some life to it, and you can. Again, I'm always about closing your eyes and kind of just hearing the sounds. And I mean, and this is something I always say: sign me up, but do it, please. Sign me up for this because this is right up my alley for sure.
And if you're not a cabin person, you're a camper instead, they have plenty of camping opportunities. They have RV campground with a total of 158 campsites, including the RVs and the primitive tent sites. They all share use of communal buildings, a pavilion, enclosed shelters, outdoor shelter. There's occasionally a seasonal fast food grill that's out there, and they also all have access to a laundry center.
Now, I don't know if this is old news, but occasionally I do a little research so I don't just go, wow, cool, man, fish. It says TV and VCR rental.
Yes,
Dude,
I know.
bring it. Like, I'll pack a pair of clothes. I'll bring 5 bags of tapes, man.
I could just see you with a trailer just loaded like 8 foot deep with VHS tapes. Where do I get my VCR rental?
Right. Hand me Double Impact. No. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah, that's it. Dude, if that's not a misprint, I want to rent a VCR. That would be so much fun. While you guys go kayaking, I'll just be adjusting the tracking on the VCR.
So they do allow, on the lake, they do allow boats with motors for fishing and that sort of stuff. They do not allow things like jet ski and wave runners.
Yeah.
Which I kind of
I
appreciate
get it.
if you're trying to enjoy nature, hearing the guy going, 9,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Doing donuts right in front of your campsite.
But you know what, though? Another thing, too, if you're not into the hiking, if you're not like me, a nature, what I call myself, a nature novice or novice of nature, I don't know what I am. A nature novice. That's what it is. There's plenty of other things to do, too. It's kind of a entertainment hub, but if you want to venture out a little bit, too, there's stuff to do, too, right? It's close to the Five Civilized Tribes Museum in Muskogee, the Muskogee War Memorial, where the USS Batfish submarine is, Thomas Foreman House in Muskogee, Honor Heights Park, Three Rivers Museum, Ten Killer State Park. If you want to slip over to Ten Killer in Vian, there's always something.
There is, and just so you know, I think all of those are Slate shows.
Are they really? Wow.
Yeah, like it's...
Spoiler warning.
I don't know how far out we are because I think we have about 700 show concepts.
Just in Muskogee.
Possibly.
Possibly.
It's possible. But if you want more information about Greenleaf State Park, best way to find them is on Facebook, Greenleaf State Park.
Well, coming up after the break, probably one of the most controversial facelifts in Paycom history.
We've been talking to a lot of local business owners and people who are promoting small businesses in Oklahoma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody's of the same opinion. Have to bring something
To the table.
to the table.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that we absolutely love Bravado Wireless.
Oh, yeah.
They go above and beyond. They're all about building community. You're not going to find a more passionate group of people anywhere, especially when you're talking about cellular service and wireless service.
But more to the point, you and I spend quite a bit of time managing our own Facebook page, checking in on, friends, fans, followers, what do you want, whatever you have it. But have you ever looked at what Bravado Wireless does? We talk about it. They're in the community. They're your next door neighbor. They're literally doing something
All the time.
all of it. There's a tent somewhere, somehow. They're handing over a check. They're giving kids school supplies. They're donating time, money, resources. You don't see that.
Doesn't take any amount of research at all. Just follow them on Facebook, and you're just going to be shocked at just the sheer volume of activities that they're doing locally in the communities that they provide service for.
Absolutely. If you want to be involved with Bravado Wireless, it's simple. You got to give them a call.
Reach out, speak to a customer service representative for coverage and cost. Phone number is 866-500-8488.
Or on the interweb at bravadowireless.com.
News story out of KFOR. Oklahoma City Paycom Center unveiled $20 million in renovation.
This is one of the most contentious topics in Oklahoma City, especially. But I get it. Mayor Holt, it's kind of like we talk about with if you want to bring more people in, you got to bring more to the table. And in order for Paycom Center to compete, even if you're not a fan of the NBA, you have to be a fan of what the NBA has done for downtown Oklahoma City. And the only way to do that is you got to open those coffers a little bit, even if it's $20 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money. You and I think we can both be on opposite sides of the fence about this, whether it's a good investment or not a good investment, or how much should we invest in this type of business over that type of business. But man, $20 million is a lot of money, especially when you're looking at what the money is. So first and foremost, one major change, the arena scoreboard.
Yep.
The new towering addition to center court is 28,000 pounds. 125-foot wraparound video display stands nearly 25 feet high and costs a whopping $7.5 million.
my question, and again, I don't know a lot of I know what NBA revenue does as far as the trickle-down effect for businesses in the area, what that impact is. But where does that money come from? Is it a penny sales tax? How do they...
Oh, yeah, that's still...
Yeah.
This is still part of the MAPS program project for sure. But again, I bet you could just do pen to paper on the NBA games.
Yeah.
And the taxes on the tickets, the vendor sales at the games, you might come up with this much money.
Yeah, you probably could. I don't know what they make, but I can tell you ticket sales aren't what they used to be. And when's the last time you bought a beer at an arena?
$7,000.
Well, I mean, but in all honesty, a trip to the concession stand might net you $30 for one person. So, I mean, multiply that by 12,000 people.
Well, the general manager of Paycom Center was quoted as saying it's really going to change and elevate the atmosphere this year. Again, I can see it's been a minute since they put it, but at the same point in time, if you're going to do that devil's advocate thing,
yeah,
if they're making that much money off of having the team there, then why can't they afford to put in their own new scoreboard?
Yeah, it doesn't make the dollars and cents, the ends doesn't really justify the means. I see why, let's be realistic. The Ford Center is over 20 years old. And it's basically what it is. It's a Ford Center with a shiny coat and a few new light fixtures. Not really, but you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I get where we want to give, because there was even talk that maybe they were going to tear Paycom down and rebuild it even bigger. And I was thinking to myself, how are you going to do that? You're going to tear down whatever the Cox Center is now and expand that way? Or are you going to go turn it into a coliseum that goes straight up into the air? I mean, I don't know, but I get it. I think it makes sense for the NBA fan, but I think from a layman's perspective that doesn't go to the NBA games, it might go if you get a free pair of tickets from work or something like that. I don't see the value in it. But when I go at a concert there and things aren't working and broke, and as a matter of fact, when I went to TSO last year, there was a few seats this way. There was actually a leak in the roof, and rain was leaking. So I get, patch the roof, put a few new seats, but man, $20 million, brother.
Well, speaking of seats, one of the other improvements is they're going to replace every single seat in the stadium, 17,000 seats.
Jeez.
For a price tag of $9 million. Now, I have recently bought chairs, and I'm going to say you can go to Costco and do much better than $9 million for 17,000 chairs.
And I don't know if you know this or not, when money's tight, two people can eat for about $7 at Costco too. I'm just telling you right now. I've done it recently.
The hot dog is only $1.50 and it comes with a Coke.
Yeah,
so
but
you should be able to eat for $3.
No, I'm saying if the other person wants the pizza combo.
Well, then they're not that hungry then.
That's true. Yeah.
You got to tighten that belt.
But anyway, the bottom line is this: it's $20 million. You got people that are going thumbs up, thumbs down, and somewhere in the middle are the people that because we talked recently, not to get too far into the weeds. We talked recently about penny taxes.
Uh-huh.
We pay it. We don't think about it.
Right.
But when you see numbers like this, you're like, God, again?
Yeah.
I mean, where does it end? But, I mean, money, I'll just say it. There's two ways to look at it. Money talks, bullshit walks. And as my dad would say, money speed, how fast you want to go. And for $20 million, you're hauling ass.
If you want more information on the Paycom upgrades, we're going to include a link in the show notes.
Well, I will say this, Harley. Make sure that you leave a link in the show notes so that when people come to our shows, they know what to look for.
So we do have some feedback. I think the only thing we're going to touch on today is we got a nice 3-star review on iTunes from a person by the name of Disgrace.
But can I just say it?
Go ahead.
Since you gave me and I'll just say you gave me a dissertation on 3-star reviews, and then we talked about the quantifying love, and we did, we did some things. We got some things out.
Yes.
This, my friend,
this is a mind-boggling review.
But this is not indifferent. Is it? Does this qualify as indifferent at 3 out of 5?
I don't know. I can't understand it. So I'm just going to read the review,
Jiminy Christmas,
and then we can discuss.
Okay.
So Disgrace via Apple Podcast. Why do you promote businesses that are permanently closed? I don't understand. Sorry.
No.
3 out of 5 stars. I don't understand your show description. You advertise several businesses and only discuss one. Andy Alligator has been out of business for several years. A simple Google search shows that it's permanently closed. We have never covered Andy Alligator.
You scoured the internet to see if there was even
I can't find that anybody has ever covered Andy Alligator on a podcast in the history of podcasting. So I have no idea what this person is talking about. I don't understand the description of our show description. Our show descriptions are pretty spot on.
Yeah, pretty spot on, pretty straightforward. I mean, in fact, if you didn't want to listen to our show and you just read the description of the episode, you could probably still find your way to the fucking cabin.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, honestly.
We include links to the things that we talk about, but
please listen. Wait. don't want to suggest that you don't listen, because what happens when you don't listen
is you miss out on all the cool stuff.
Or you come up with this disgrace.
I don't understand. So what I think should happen,
God,
if you've been listening to our show for a while and you know that we've never covered Andy Alligator, or that that you find our show descriptions helpful
or disgraceful,
I would like for a couple of dozen people to go out and give us a 5-star review just to cancel out this weird review.
Or you know what? Even better. Do a better 3-star review than this, for crying out loud. Do like I do. 3 out of 5 and just say I loved it.
Or do 5 out of 5 and just say you liked it. I don't care.
Or say 5 out of 5, the podcast was great, but their bathroom had a turd in it. Well, this has been the Only an OK Show. New shows every week, sometimes 2. Special thanks, though, to our sponsor, Bravado Wireless. I'm Brett.
And I'm Harley, and we're out of here.
Peace. We can both agree on that stood out the most was 3 out of 5, not bad. So you're saying he was wrong for saying a 3
Yes, he was also wrong, yes. 3 means you're indifferent to it.
No, it doesn't.
2 means you didn't like it. 1 means you hated it. 4 means you liked it.
What does love... Let's talk about love, just in general. What does it mean to love something?
Emotional response.
You said it like a robot.
Well, you're asking a weird
No, I'm not.
question.
I'm asking. If I say 3 out of 5, I loved it.
That means that you did not, in fact, love it. Dude,
Listen to me.
No.
Everybody's definition of love is different, dude. Do you love... Okay. Wait.
Hold on.
Do you love espresso?
You have 3 sons. Do you give any of them a 3 out of 5 on how you feel about them?
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You said I love... Okay. Do you love espresso?
No, I don't love espresso.
Is there any inanimate object that you love? There's a point to this. What are you doing? Looking up the definition of love?
No, I'm looking up the star classification to give you an understanding of the way the star classification works.
But you're saying that my degree of love can't be 3 out of 5.
No, you can't say that 3 out of 5 is love.
How can I not?
Because that's not the way it works.
I'm asking, is there anything inanimate object that you love? Like, I love this tea. You don't ever say, man, I loved that hamburger. You never said that?
Yes.
But it's different than the way you love your kids, obviously. It's a different degree of love. Is love 100%?
No, that's not the point, dude. It's, okay, you went to a restaurant. There are 5 options that you can choose from. You loved it, you liked it, you were indifferent to it, you didn't like it, or you hated it. That is the star system.
I understand. What I'm saying is there are different degrees of love, from this thing to that thing.
Yes, Brett, but when you go to a restaurant, you either loved it all the way down to hated it. You don't say, I love that burger more than I love my children, and mean it.
Okay, so
So
it's a 5 out of 5 if you love something.
yes.
I don't know about that, man, because love too is complicated. You know what I mean? You
It's
can.
not your emotional response. It's you have 5 options.
I know.
So it's like, it would be the same as if you had 2 options. You either loved it or you hated it. You only get to choose one or the other. You can't say, I hate it, but I really loved it. You can't do that. You're breaking the rules of the system.
You're telling. Wait, no.
No. When you went to school, you
Yeah.
either got an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F.
Right.
Your teacher at no point in time can give you a C and say that you got 100%.
Fair.
That's the way that system works.
Why are you so fired up?
The teacher can say, I hated Brett's guts, but he got an A in my class. Those two you don't intertwine.
There's no correlation between the two.
No.
She can hate me, but here's the
But
thing.
you still got an A.
Right.
You did what was required to get an A. So when you're using the star system,
Okay.
it's hate it, didn't like it, don't care, liked it, loved it. That's it.
Okay. I mean, I just feel like I can look at this and go, man, I really love my phone. But it's a different type of. It's not love. It's a
Right, but you wouldn't compare your phone to your child.
right.
That's not you're not saying that I love my phone, but not as much as my kid. Nobody thinks that you love your phone more than you love your kid. Nobody's going to say, "Oh, he gave his
So
phone."
it's just if I would have just said I loved the movie, done.
If you would have said you loved the movie, then technically you would have given it 5 stars.
But can I find things? Can there be things that I find wrong with it and
Yes.
still give it 5 stars?
Yes. You go to a restaurant, a nice restaurant, you have ribs, you get the best plate of ribs you ever had in your entire life. You're going to give it a 5 out of 5. You walk into the bathroom, and there's a turd floating in the restroom, and the restroom had been cleaned in 3 hours. You can say, best ribs I ever had, 5 out of 5, wish they'd put some work into the bathroom.
Okay, fair. I messed up.
No, you didn't mess up. You argue about shit. You're putting a scale of love that applies across the board, and that is not how the star
Harley,
system...
the point is, I don't know what love is. Let's get started on the show.
Love. I give it a 3 out of 5.
Well, I give love, actual love, a 2 out of 5. I'm trying to reach out to some spooky folks, but I don't know how.
Better hop to it.
I know it.
I don't know how what.
I'm going to drop a bombshell. 3, 2, 1. Can you not do that? Well, I would like to, but here's a drawer.
Okay, well, you have to have 7 tries to get it right, so I figure I got time to look
wow.
around.
Okay. You do one episode intro and outro without me, and all of a sudden you're the cock of the walk. Can you not do what you're doing?
I'm looking for something.
Do you want me to start the show, or do you want to look?
I want you to burn all of your... Welcome to discussing today.
You make me happy, okay?
Welcome to the show. I'm only in Brett.
I'm only inside of Harley.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
Stop.
3, 2, 1.
Go.
3, 2, 1.
And welcome to the show. Today we're discussing Greenleaf Lake State Park in Braggs, Oklahoma. And later in the show, Paycom getting a facelift. I'm Brett. I said that, biatch.
No, you did not. You said Greenleaf Lake State Park.
No, I said Greenleaf State Park. I never said lake. I like the intro to the Fudge interview. I'm Harley, and Brett's a slacker.
Mm-hmm.
Golly, man. Cut me some slack. You're being a 3 out of 5 right now. No, you're actually not being indifferent. You're being a 1 out of 5. I mean, at least you're leaving a review. Anyway, where were we? 3, 2, 1.